Hey there, this is Clay with RelationshipInnerGame.com. And in this video, we're going to be continuing our discussion about common misconceptions and mistakes that people make with the advanced relational skills that we teach in our courses and in our other things that we do online. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So another common misconception that people have about the advanced relational skills is that it's something that you just, kind of turn on when it's time to perform for somebody else. And then, when you're just kind of hanging out, nobody's around, at least nobody important that you want to impress, you just kind of, turn it off and you're just kind of like a schlub, right? That's a common misconception. And what I want to instill into you is that the advanced relational skills are really about upgrading your way of being, okay? Your way of being is basically like the sum average of all the ways that you bring yourself to life throughout any period of time, right? So your way of being this week is the sum of how you are behaving and how you are bringing yourself to interactions throughout the entire week. Okay? And the more you can step into a certain way of being, the more you can step into maybe, being charismatic, being curious and inquisitive about somebody's experience, being present in the moment, or, having integrity or something like that. The more that you can step into that on a consistent basis, that is going to be your consistent way of being. So this is really about upgrading your way of being so that you can really behave, act, and respond in a way that is going to get you the better results that you want with love and relationships, okay? This is the be, do, have model, okay? So you're being upgraded so that you can do things that will get you to have different results, okay? That's the way that this is all working. Now, this is very contradictory to the way that most people approach things, which is to have, do, and be, right? So if I could have the magic pickup line, then I could do going up to the girl and, be a confident person. But, that's the opposite way of what I'm trying to instill into you. What I want you to do instead is to simply just be a confident person so you automatically know what to say so that you can get the girl or the guy or whatever, right? Okay, so that's kind of this dynamic at play, and I want to make it clear that if you're doing it the wrong way, if you do the have, do, be model, the way that I just described, the way that I recommend that you don't do it, you're going to essentially be in performance mode. Okay, and what do I mean by performance mode? Performance mode is when you are basically putting on an act in order to impress somebody, trying to be something that you are not in order to impress somebody, or otherwise trying to, hide a certain part of yourself, or conceal a certain part of yourself, or polish up a certain part of yourself so that you appear as something other than what you are. And this is not a great place to be in when you are trying to make some sort of progress with an interpersonal relationship, or really probably any other area of your life. But we're all here to talk about relationships, so let's just keep it focused on that. Oftentimes when people end up throwing up their hands in the air and say, oh, I tried something but it didn't work, that is a key indicator that they were not being something. They were instead just performing, right? Oh yeah, I tried that canned routine but it didn't work. They weren't being charismatic. They weren't being attractive. They weren't being that kind of person that's naturally going to get the sort of result that they wanted in that romantic relationship situation. Instead, they were simply trying a tactic, trying a little performance thing, trying a quick tip or ninja trick or something like that. And, of course, that kind of stuff doesn't really work. It might get you one or two steps down the road, but ultimately, something's going to happen. You're going to run out of lines, and what are you going to say when you run out of lines, right? Suddenly you have to stand on your own 2 feet, and if you've just been faking it this whole time, then you're going to crash and burn. I don't care if you're a guy, I don't care if you're a girl, I don't care if you're trying to meet somebody, I don't care if you're trying to save your relationship, I don't care if you're trying to get your ex back, I don't care if you're trying to meet Mr. Right. You are going to crash and burn if you are just relying on lines and tricks and gimmicks and all of that BS, right? You have to incorporate being into your process for approaching these romantic situations, okay? And that's really what the advanced relational skills are about. It's about upgrading the way that you are bringing yourself to every single moment, okay? You always want to be embracing and embodying the advanced relational skills, because that way you will always be on, okay? You won't have to just simply be like, oh, there he is over there. How do I gotta like go around the corner and turn on my advanced relational skills so that I can impress him? No, if you're doing it that way, you're doing it the incorrect way, okay? And I would imagine you're probably gonna have a lot harder time than if you were to simply just say, okay, I see what Clay's teaching here. I'm gonna work on being all of these things as often as possible throughout my entire day, and just, you know, always be ready to interact with this person over here that I'm attracted to, whether they're there or not. So I hope this clears that up. And if you'd like to learn more about how to really work on these advanced relational skills, learn more about what they are, please head on over to our website, relationshipinnergame.com. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your situation, through a quick, short, like 30-second, painless questionnaire, and we'll send you some advice, tips, and strategies to help you get to where you want to go. Okay, so this has been Clay. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.